What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon here, and I am back. I had a 10-day hiatus from putting any content out. Long story short, if you don't already know, within a 3-week period I had surgery, the wife and I had a baby, and we moved to a different city. So all that combined was just a bit too much stress to be putting out any content. Believe it or not, we're actually in a new studio in an entirely different city, so I'm trying to duplicate what I had before because I think it was a pretty good setup. But I am missing a few things from the move, like adequate lighting, so bear with me. I'm trying to get everything back in place. So I deeply apologize for missing last week's auction recap. I know how much y'all look forward to it, but I'm going to try to make up for it this week with an insane auction recap with tons and tons of auctions on eBay, PWCC, an insane auction block on Heritage. So we're going to review all that and more. Please stay tuned. Folks, thank you so much for sticking around during my absence. I really appreciate it. Please give the video a like, please be a subscriber if you're not already, and please support the channel by using my eBay affiliate link in the description below. Folks, there were an absolute ton of high-end auctions on all kinds of various platforms, and we also saw a couple of graded Lost Origins cards come through. Not a whole lot, just a few. We'll be touching on a lot more of them in next week's auction recap. So let's get started right now with this Pikachu VMAX. This is the gold and black card. It got a PSA 10 and sold for $222.50. And I do believe it was the first of this Pikachu VMAX to hit the auction market. And then right after that, we saw the Charizard Trainer Gallery card. Already came back from PSA, got a Gem Mint 10, sold this week for $286. So like I said, folks, not too many of the graded Lost Origins cards quite yet. I think next week we're going to see a lot more, including that Giratina alternate art. We're going to see how much that goes for in a PSA 10. All right, on to a few more modern cards. Yet again, a special delivery Charizard. We're going to continue to keep track of this card in its graded form. This week, one sold as a PSA 10 for $610. And then I wanted to cover the matter of gold secret rare cards from Sword and Shield. Here from Chilling Reign, we have a gold secret rare Electrode in PSA 10 that sold for only $81. We saw this gold secret rare Houndoom from Battle Styles that sold for $99. Here is an Origin Form Dialga V-Star that sold for only $89, while the Origin Form Palkia V-Star sold for $95. Here, perhaps the saddest one of them all, is a Rillaboom gold secret rare card from Darkness Ablaze, only sold in auction for $26.01. And perhaps the only gold secret rare card to crack $100 this week is this Snorlax from Chilling Reign that sold as a PSA 10 for $181. A couple of interesting sales from Pokemon Go. We have the Radiant Venusaur that sold this week for $120. The Radiant Blastoise selling for $217. And then two sales of the Radiant Charizard. One sold for $230. The other one, $250. And then a couple of CGC 10 Perfect cards that came through. Here's the Sylveon V that sold for $365. A Perfect Blastoise from Celebration's Classic Collection sold for $690, while the Umbreon Gold Star, also from the Celebration's Classic Collection, sold for $855 this week. Here is a Charizard V from Champion's Path, got the BGS 10 Black Label, sold this week for $2,202. On to a couple of XY era cards. Here is a Mega Alakazam EX from Fates Collide, sold for $117.50. We saw this Primal Groudon EX from Ancient Origins, sold for $290. And then a Charizard Holo from XY Evolution sold this week for $1,850. And then here we have an XY Black Star promo of Volcanion, looking particularly derpy, selling for the hefty sum of $26. On to a few very notable Japanese cards. Here is a Naked Misty from the Japanese Gym Challenge set, sold for an even $400 this week. We saw two of the Pokemon Stamp Box promo cards, one with Cramorant, the other one with Pikachu. Both sold for $510 as PSA 10s. Here's a 20th anniversary Pikachu promo card that sold for an even $4,000 as a PSA 10. We also saw this Japanese e-card promo of Blastoise, sold for $942, along with this Charizard holographic e-card promo that sold for $3,946. Here's a first edition Japanese Umbreon that sold for $1,275 this week. A Japanese Gold Star Gyarados, probably my favorite Gold Star card of all time, sold for an even $2,000. A Japanese Crystal Celebi sold for $3,985, while in contrast, the English variant sold for $2,025. And then we saw a Japanese Crystal Lugia sell for $6,300 this week. Here's another Pikachu Holo Battle Festa promo card. This one sold for $3,227. And then a 1997 Pikachu Toyota promo got a Gem Mint 10 and sold for $1,025. From the Tag Team GX All-Star set, here is a Full Art Sightseer and Gem Mint 10 that sold for $1,100 this week. And then a Championship Arena Japanese Black Star promo sold as a CGC 10 for $2,551. And then lastly, for our Japanese cards, here is a 2022 World's Championship Black Star promo card that sold for $1,006. On to several of the Neo Revelation First Edition Holo cards. Here's a holographic Delibird, sold for $355, while the First Edition Crobat sold for $365. Now those are the low end of the Neo Revelation Holos. Let's jump into the top tier Holos from the set, starting with the Celebi that sold for $1,120. The First Edition Ho-Oh sold this week for $2,550. The First Edition Porygon 2 sold for $3,250. The First Edition Misdreavus sold for $3,770, while the First Edition Houndoom sold for $4,750. And lastly, the First Edition Entei, the Entei Rookie card, sold this week for $7,211. And then just a couple of miscellaneous vintage cards I didn't know where to put in this video, but they were still pretty interesting. From Aquapolis, we saw a Zapdos Holo sell for $635. A reverse holographic Charizard from Expedition set sold for an even $900. A Topps Chrome Charizard Spectra card sold this week for $2,275. Here we have a reverse holographic Hypno from Legendary Collection that sold for $610, which is crazy that the value of this card is higher than that of the First Edition Holo from Fossil set. Here is a Level X Darkrai from Great Encounters that sold for $860 this week. And then we saw this Rockets Suicune EX from EX Team Rocket Returns. Beautiful card, sold for $2,325. And lastly, on eBay, we saw this holographic Eevee Black Star promo. This card is notoriously hard to grade. I remember years ago watching a TCA gaming video. He explained how he was sending in tons of these cards to be graded and none of them come back at PSA 10. I think eventually he had to just go out and buy one. But this week, one sold as a PSA 10 for $4,839. And I believe the population used to be super low for this card, like it's a pop 7. Nowadays, it's a pop 28 PSA 10 examples. On to the PWCC auction recap. We have the CGC 9 Japanese no rarity symbol Blastoise card. It sold for $2,160. Here from Pop Series 1 is a Ken Sugimori signed Minin card. Got a PSA 9. The autograph was a PSA 8. Sold for $5,880. Here is a PSA 9 Rayquaza Gold Star that sold for $7,200. The PSA 10 Crystal Charizard from Skyridge sold for $10,800. And then a Japanese Gold Star Charizard sold this week for $13,200. We saw an opened and authenticated by PWCC booster box of Skyridge. All 36 packs in this box sold for $40,800. And then we saw a First Edition base set booster box, same deal, opened up by PWCC to be verified, sold for $192,000. And then we saw a bunch of First Edition base set Charizards. Here's a CGC 9 copy that sold for $12,000. Here's a BGS 9 copy that sold for $22,800. And then here is a PSA 9 copy with the gold NBA stamp on it as well, sold for an even $24,000. And then on to just a few of the very notable auctions from Heritage. Heritage had a Grand Slam auction block this week. There's so many crazy awesome cards to go over. Here is a First Edition base set Raichu in PSA 10, sold for $6,600. A Gold Star Mewtwo from EX Holon Phantom sold for $4,080. While the Gold Star Mudkip from EX Team Rocket Returns sold for $5,400. A Japanese Gold Star Rayquaza sold for $11,100, while this Trico Holo, once again signed by Ken Sugimori, sold for $3,720. And then we saw an insane amount of vintage booster boxes come by. Here's a First Edition Jungle Box that sold for $9,300. The First Edition Fossil Box sold for more at $10,200. It always surprises me when a Fossil Box sells for more than a Jungle Box. A Base 2 Booster Box sold for $7,500, while a first edition Team Rocket box sold for $12,600. And let me just say, a lot of these booster boxes are not in the best shape. You got a lot of tearing in the cellophane. The Wizards logos a lot of them are like rubbed off. The boxes for a lot of these don't look to be in the best condition, but are still selling for premium prices. Here's a first edition Gym Challenge booster box sold for $11,400. Here we had a Diamond and Pearl Majestic Dawn booster box. If you don't know, you get the highly coveted Level X Glaceon and Level X Leafeon from the set. This booster box sold for $6,600 this week. And a Neo Genesis booster box sold this week for $26,400. On to a crazy amount of base set booster box variants. Let's start from least to greatest. Here is a first edition Portuguese base set booster box, sold for $12,600. And here's an unlimited base set booster box. Once again, not in the best shape. It's even got some writing on the box. A lot of the logos are worn off. Anyhow, it sold for $14,400. And then here we saw a case, I believe, of base set unlimited booster packs. 72 packs total, so essentially 2 booster boxes worth of cards. Sold for an even $24,000. A Japanese base set box sold for $21,600. A first edition Chinese base set booster box sold for $28,800. A first edition French box sold for $33,600. And then here is a shadowless Green Wing Charizard booster box. They're advertising it as very, very likely to have shadowless cards in it. Sold for $66,000. And lastly, for our booster boxes, we saw a case of first edition German base set booster boxes. 6 boxes total, sold for $78,000. On to an absolute slew of Charizard sales. Here's a Charizard Holo from EX Crystal Guardians in PSA 10, sold for $3,480. A Japanese base set Charizard sold for $5,400, while this first edition German base set Charizard sold for $15,066. Then here we saw a lot of 16 unlimited base set Charizards, ranging from like PSA 1 all the way through PSA 10. It's got a lot of various 0.5 grades in it as well, sold for $15,600. Here we have an SGC 10 shadowless base set Charizard, sold for $19,200. And I would have thought this would have went for a little bit more than that, maybe like $20,000 to $25,000. But still, $19,000 is not too bad of a price. Here's a Japanese Top Sun Blueback Charizard in PSA 10. This sold for $31,200. And then getting to the really high-end sales, here's a Secret Super Battle Japanese promo card. The #1 trainer card is sold for $156,000 as a PSA 10. And then we saw the first edition base set Charizard in PSA 10 come by. It sold for $162,000. Here is the test print Blastoise, the Protostoise if you will. Got a CGC 7.5 and sold for $162,000 as well. And the auction of the week I'm going to give to this PSA 10 Japanese no rarity symbol base set Charizard that sold for a whopping $264,000 this week. And that concludes the auction recap. I apologize for the sound. I apologize for the lighting. I did want to get back into the game of doing auction recaps, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. That's all I got for you folks. I'm going to try to put out more videos this week, so stay tuned for those, and I will see you then.